call-in show. So be sure that you are ready with your questions for Chandra. She's ready to answer them, or at least tell you where you can get the answer. Our call-in number is 703-663-3333. That's not a hard number to remember. So think about what you want to know about what's going on here on the campus. And well, I'll turn it over to Chandra. Welcome. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. It's a beautiful day, a little chilly today, more than I expected, but a gorgeous day as it is. So I'm hoping everybody has a wonderful weekend. Got a lot of different things going on in the community in all different levels. I'm happy to announce that we have a Human Resources Director.
Wonderful.
Yes, her name is Makita Miller, and she will be joining us the 15th of May. As you know, spending money and capital is important, but I feel strongly that human capital is our biggest asset.
Yes.
So to have somebody in that position to be there to support the rest of the leadership team is vital.
That's great.
So, and comes to us with over 17 years of experience in health services, hospitals, and she even worked for AARP. So she's got a wide array of experience.
Where will her office be?
Her office will be in Hunters Crossing as you go in. The Human Resources office is to the right, right past the coffee area there, and so her office will be there. And then the team kind of is dispersed in the sense of when they're working, they go to different parts of the community. But really excited to have her be part of the Green Spring family.
It's wonderful.
Yes, I'm so happy. In addition, we've got coming on the 22nd of May, our annual board meeting where we do the board update for Green Spring, just in talking about what happened in 2016, what we are going to be looking to strategically in 2017, and it will be in the theater from 10 to 11, and then 11:15 to 12:15 we will have a reception in the Academic Room. So it'll be nice to get to...
And that's all open to the residents to attend?
Yes, absolutely. So there is a message that is going out into the cubbies. The annual report will also be available at the front desk starting on the 19th.
Good.
We have opted not to cubby stuff those because it's pretty thick into everyone's cubbies. If someone wants one, they can come and request one from the front desk. Thought we could save a few trees in that process.
That would be nice.
Right, and not everybody wants a copy. They may want to just hear about it, and it'll be recorded, and then we can re-televise it too for those people that are unable to make it that day. But it's a good opportunity for the board members to be able to have the conversation.
And what day is that?
It is on the 22nd of May.
And what day of the week is that?
I think that's a Wednesday. I didn't write down the day of the week. I'll be honest, I think it's either Wednesday or Thursday. No, it's a Monday. Sorry. See, it says it right there. Woo, I need to look up.
There it is. Okay. I wasn't looking at the screen either.
I'll now start to write down the day of the week also.
Okay.
So Monday, May the 22nd.
10 to 11 in the Village Square Theater. And this is the time to really come and see what our Erickson overall is doing here.
Well, it'll be about what we do here.
Right.
Not Erickson overall, but the board of directors.
These are the board of directors, though, that are over, what, 4 different?
Well, they're part of the National Senior Campuses, but it's Jackson Bain, it'll be Betty Price, and Roy O'Connor, who is our resident board member, and they will be talking about, in general, how what's going on with the board, but also specific to Green Spring.
Yeah, what I was hoping to do is kind of separate our resident council from the board. I think people get those confused.
Okay. Yeah. So the resident council will be able to say a few words also. They're part of the presentation, but it's the bulk of it will be administration.
Right.
We'll be talking about kind of where we were in 2016, what's happened, and then going forward into 2017, our strategic kind of initiatives that we're going to be focused on. So,
good.
Yeah, I mean the council has its own role, and it has a very vital role because we in administration are really dependent on their feedback, their suggestions. Really is a good partnership.
Right.
The board is more governance. We are more management.
Right.
So that is the difference. They are looking at the overall picture, but they're not getting into the day-to-day.
Right.
They're giving us the guidance on what our day-to-day should be, but not really the details. So
Right.
the council does a lot more of that fielding in the sense of hearing from residents, whether it's concerns, whether it's compliments, and they do a great job of relaying that to us. And then we are able to better gear our
Right.
decisions based on that.
Right.
So it's a good partnership for us. We're very lucky to have a very involved resident council.
Yes, they are.
In Garden Ridge, I know there's a lot of what's going on in Garden Ridge. So
Now's the time to call. You have questions. 703-663-3333.
So Garden Ridge, the new building, they have already started to move dirt around. You'll see some, concrete that's being poured for different aspects. They are taking some of the brick off the old building so that we can attach. They'll create what they call, I think it's called footers. But I'm not a construction expert, so I'll leave that to them. They know what they're doing.
Anyway, they're going to connect the new building.
They're going to connect it. So there's some pre-work that they have to
Yes.
do where they're going to connect the building. They haven't done the foundation yet, but the courtyard has disappeared. So there is no entrance for residents and staff to go out to the courtyard anymore. However, we do have 2 courtyards that are available, one on Evergreen Terrace and one on Rose Court, that you can still go and utilize. And I see they've got nice video up here.
Oh, yes.
Oh wow, this is very nice. Look at that. So this is the tearing up some of the concrete and getting ready, and so there is noise. And I know we were just talking about the soon at
Yes.
Green Spring. So this is the soon. It's here.
It's happening.
So just a forewarning to all of my staff and all of our residents, this could be between Garden Ridge and Town Center. We could be talking a couple of years of construction and noise and more dust.
But it's what we've been asking for.
Absolutely. So in the end, it will be a good thing. So that's footage you're seeing right now is the courtyard. And that little hole there, that used to, yes, there it is. That used to be the fountain. I have to tell you, that was a pretty significant pull out of taking that fountain out. I happened to be over there. We were celebrating Garden Ridge's great survey results. So we had a morning breakfast that the staff and the council participated in serving and cooking for the staff. And it took a while for them to get that fountain out. It was solid, rock solid.
Oh, boy.
So thank you for the footage. The amenity spaces, so in Garden Ridge, this will be the new building that you just saw on the video, but the current buildings will be renovated. And we're going to start with RC4, Rose Court 4, top floor. And that'll probably be that first week of June, because we wanted to make sure we had all the logistics. As you can imagine, when you have people living there,
Right.
how do you decide on how to manage the noise, the dust, the construction site? And so we opted to wait a little bit longer instead of starting, later this month. We decided to wait till after the holiday.
And what kind of renovations will those be?
We will be doing all the amenity spaces, the dining areas, the living rooms, bringing them up to, just really doing a redo of them, making them more user-friendly, making them more appealing. And just, the building has been close to 15 years old.
Right.
It's a good time to have that done. And I think it'll be a great product. It'll look beautiful. It'll be more user-friendly. But again, it is going to be disruptive. And it could be about 8 to 12 weeks per floor to do those amenity spaces. Once the new building is complete and the amenity spaces are completed, then we will have the ability to move residents off the floors and redo the individual rooms.
The rooms.
But we needed a place to move our residents, so we want to wait for that.
Right.
Once the new building's built in their space, then we'll do that. We didn't want to move people around and try to piecemeal it.
Right.
It can be very disruptive.
Very disruptive and more expensive, I'm sure.
Yes, yes. So I'm excited about that. But again, I'm asking for everyone's patience, and I'll probably be on this call every month asking for patience with the noise and the dust.
But now it's a call-in show, so don't make Chandra search for something to talk about. She may want to know what you have to ask her. So 703-663-3333.
So the dishwashers, I've been hearing a lot of compliments about the dishes in Hunter's Crossing looking great, which they should have always looked great. Right. But the new dishwashers in place, staff is very happy with it, that I've heard from, and residents. And so I'm happy to say the one for Town Center Fireside, we should be done by Friday, because staff wanted to see if we can make sure we get it done prior to the Mother's Day celebrations. So I'm excited, and I'm sure people that have been eating on paper plates and paper cups and using paper products in general will be happy to be able to go back to regular Chinaware.
Right.
And I know the staff will be also. It's kind of limited their ability to really present the food the way they want to.
Yes,
and,
I'm sure.
There's been challenges with temperatures and, just the ability to cut certain things.
Right.
So it'll be good. And I know that it's been painful, but again, once it's done, we'll move to the next venue. In addition, in Town Center, we will be installing as many people know that we've done the windows in Neighborhood 1.
Yes.
And then now we have the doors that hopefully we should be able to start sometime in July to install the doors, so that way we can get that all done. And then we are waiting to get verification on the windows and the doors in Village Square, potentially starting in June sometime.
Okay.
We just need to, the team will be nailing down some more of the logistics of the
Looks like we have a call coming in.
Okay.
Let's hear what this caller has to say.
Hello?
Hello, you're on TV.
I just have a comment about the windows. I've had 2 things broken when they replaced our windows. Okay. I called the lady that we call about windows. She didn't say she was sorry or make a comment or anything. One of the things that was broken, I had already taken off the wall and put aside so it wouldn't get broken, and it got broken. Not happy about it. And as I say, it's just a comment. Okay,
well, I apologize for that. I'll ask them to get your information, and we can have somebody follow up. That's not what's been the expectation and the experience. So, but as I said, if it's happened to someone, we will address that, and I apologize for not having someone respond appropriately to you.
Thank you for calling. Okay. So the doors, excited about getting the doors in and finishing Town Center. That will be done. And then Village Square, as I said, we'll be doing the windows and the doors together. Oh, at the same time.
Same time. So that'll make the inconvenience a little bit better in the sense of not having to be in your apartment as long.
Right. Oh, we have another call coming in.
I guess I touched a nerve.
Yes. Welcome to TV.
Hi. I am, let me get this all the way down. I am commenting about the refurbishing of Neighborhood 1. Someone needs to actually look at the carpets on the upper, second, third, fourth floors. They are hardly worn at all. But the horrible carpet that they put in Main Street in Neighborhood 1 shows everything, is never clean, and they might, I'm not saying they shouldn't give the people their shelves and stuff, but on those upper floors that are going to be refurbished. But the carpet on the main street, it needs to be replaced. The carpets on those upper floors with the red and the green, or red and the blue and everything, look great. They don't, they add color. It's not dull up there. And I did hear a comment from a new resident who said, what about the pictures in the Jefferson dining room and all of Neighborhood 1 that are all those geometrics? They aren't art. And, of course, you weren't here when they redecorated and took out some really pretty things. And I'd hate to see that happen on those upper floors in Neighborhood 1. And gray is dull. But something that's brighter and busier for the Main Street over there would be a good pick-me-up, because take a walk on those floors and see what's happening and then compare it to that first floor. Just because it's time to change something, you don't have to change everything. You change what's worn out. Thank you for listening. I know, Chandra, you always listen, so thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you for calling. And actually, just a clarification, I will not be designing Town Center. We do have a design team that will be doing that, but we also have a resident group made up of some of the resident council members and some other members that are part of the design team for Town Center. Mm-hmm. So we will be also discussing those choices with them and incorporating the residents' feedback.
I know that Main Street thoroughfare becomes more worn and soiled.
Yes, and it has
a
tremendous amount of traffic.
Yes.
And and I agree that there are opportunities to do a better job of cleaning, and the team tries to stay on top of them. And I'll be honest, sometimes you feel like they just got done, and then 2 weeks later
they're doing it again.
But that is the challenge with a main street.
It is.
But as we were talking before the show started, we are doing the main streets on 8 of the hallways, and these are the hallways that get the most amount of traffic first.
Right.
In reference to Town Center, when we do Town Center, they will do all of the common areas, and then the upper hallways will continue just as part of a life cycle. We won't just arbitrarily go in and change everything. Mm-hmm. In reference to the art, again, I will leave that to the designers versus my picking something. Again, great collaboration with the council.
Good.
Want to make sure they're part of it, but also the design team is the resident design team.
And that's that's one of the subcommittees of the council.
Right. It's sort of like an ad hoc. They had already started this with the prior conversations that were happening at Town Center. But it's got a good group of people that are on the council or have been on the council or have, some other strong interest in it. So we've got a good tight group of people that are representative of the voices of the residents. So
if you have an idea about how you want things decorated, check with the council and find out who's on that design committee and let your voice be heard.
And I think what we all want to make sure of when we talk about preferences, what may be beautiful to me may be different than what is beautiful to you. But we really want to make sure that there's consistency. We are a community that is dependent on being marketable also.
Exactly.
So some of the choices are going to be based on what is the market asking for.
That's right.
We also want to take into consideration what our current residents, absolutely, but we want to be someplace in the middle. And I'll, as it is with green beans, I always talk about green beans. Some people like them soft, some people like them crunchy. It's the same with artwork and design. Everyone kind of has their choices, so we sort of have to walk the middle ground.
Right.
And see what's best for the entire community. So unfortunately, there are going to be people that may not like it 100%, but we want to make sure that it's at least pleasing and comfortable.
Right.
That is important too, that the seating is comfortable. I know in Fireside we've got some chairs out to sample, and don't mind the color, don't mind the fabric choices. That's not what we're choosing. We're just checking the functionality. is it comfortable? Is it easy to get in and out of? The colors and all we can do as we go through the process.
Right.
So that's that piece of it. This weekend we had a really nice tea for our retired nurses
Oh, good. I
in
read
Garden
about
Ridge.
that.
It's a National Nurses Week in the sense that we acknowledge our nurses, and the tea was hosted by Garden Ridge, and we had a good turnout. So very, very nice opportunity to acknowledge the efforts of there's such an important group of people.
Okay, we have another call
Oh,
coming.
wow. Okay.
Let's take that call.
This is great. This is the first time I've had
It's
3
wonderful.
calls.
Right. Let's have that call.
I'm calling back. When you talked about the chairs, I sat in the chairs. Now I'm in neighborhood 3, so maybe those chairs don't apply. However, the chairs, when you sit in them, the ones with the braces on the bottom don't rock when you get into them. The others don't have enough strength and stability to last. And unfortunately, that's 3 of them, which I hope the one with the braces is comfortable for everybody because it will last longer.
Okay.
Thank
There you
you.
are.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Okay. I didn't even notice braces on the chairs, but
I have to double check myself because I'm not sure exactly where they're placed. Sometimes they're not visible.
right.
But we want to make sure height, cushion,
Exactly.
ability to push in and out. So we also want to make sure they fit underneath the tables.
That's true.
So sometimes the little things make a big difference. Just the other question I've had for a couple of residents has been the new doors, that they see light coming through the new doors if you are in town center. And so
In the hallway doors.
No, the resident doors. We changed the resident doors.
But in the hall.
Yes, in the
not
hall.
the outside patio doors.
Right. So we changed the resident doors in town center because we used to have the wood doors. And
Right.
for fire rating purposes, we went to the steel doors as we have in all of the other community buildings. So we have had some residents say that there's light coming from the sides. The doors are not smaller, it's just the fit of it. So we are looking at, the right kind of weather stripping, which is typical that you would have in any front door to prevent
Rather
that.
like that light coming in. It's sort of like a night light during. But,
Right,
and
again, it's a matter of choice,
Right.
but this is good for noise and for fit
Right.
and all of those pieces. So as they go through, they'll adjust and then see what's the right kind of stripping to put in there. So they're looking at that right now. I know that's been a question with some people. So I think that's about it with my updates.
Okay.
Any questions that I can answer?
Let's see, what were we talking about before we got started? One was the progress on Garden Ridge. I don't really have any other questions.
Well, I know that Medical Center, they've been working on a new electronic medical record,
Right.
which is currently being utilized by the staff, so it takes them a little bit longer. Anything new takes time, to kind of work through the kinks. But I also know that we have put out an offer for the medical director's position, and we will soon be able to announce the hire of a new medical
wonderful.
director once I have everything finalized. So that's good excitement for us too, to make sure we have
Yes,
that position
yes.
filled. And we continue to recruit for a nurse practitioner to support the Garden Ridge residents and IL residents also. We do have a nurse practitioner currently, but we'd like to add another one. So good, we've got a couple interviews set up. So
Wonderful. Wonderful.
I'll have some new information to share, and I know we have a sales director that we should soon be able to finalize and
Good.
announce
Good.
that we've hired a new sales director. We're almost there,
Very good.
but
Very
I always don't like to discuss the details of who and when till it's all
Until
signed,
it's
sealed,
signed.
and delivered.
Right.
But,
Thinking about the nurse practitioner, my personal thought is it would be nice to have a nurse practitioner that we could call with a question that maybe, you know, should I see a doctor or should I just take an extra aspirin and go to bed? Because I think sometimes we have those little borderline questions of, am I really sick, or is this just something that I need to wait 24 hours for?
So were you thinking after hours, or are you thinking during hours?
During hours would be fine, but it's kind of difficult sometimes, you know, if you walk in there, well, the doctor can see you, you know, tomorrow or tonight, you know, after everything else is cleared up.
Okay.
And it's really not that important to see a doctor at that point. You just have that nagging question. And it would be nice to have someone we could call just to ask.
Okay. Because generally you should be able to call the medical center and say, you know, I've got this going on. Should I be seen by the doctor or not at that point? Unfortunately, the people answering the call are usually the front desk staff or their,
Right.
you know, medical assistants. So they don't have that same capacity to diagnose or
Right,
assess.
to answer those kind of questions.
Yes. So, but that is an interesting question to pose. You know, how does that
I've had that in
logistics
other
work?
places where I've lived, and it was quite convenient and saved the doctors a lot of time because they didn't have to put up with little nagging things.
Right, right.
So,
Okay, well, thank you. That's a
okay.
good point.
Well, I think we're about through, so let's go and see what's going on. Thank you so much, Chandra, for our updates.
My pleasure.
Thank you for calling in and giving us some ideas of what you're thinking of. So let's see what's going on.